Etude by Alton Sinclair from Central Texas College. And I know he has a CD out a couple of years ago that's really great. You ought to check it out. This is the first Tenor Trombone Etude for the All-Region, All-State Jazz Band tryout. And it's in the form of bebop. I'm going to talk a little bit about things you can do to help out this etude. It's really difficult, especially if you play it up to tempo. Fortunately, there are 3 tracks given to you at different tempos. So I encourage you to play the track that fits your ability. Don't try to play it faster than you can because this is hard. The first thing you should know about bebop is it is smooth. It is a legato kind of form. So even though there are no slur markings on it, again, you want to use a really light articulation and tongue most of the notes. Also, bebop is technically swing, but it's not swung in the way that we usually think of because it's so fast. So to swing this, you're really just doing an air emphasis on the upbeats, on the ends of the beats, to make it sound swing. So when you speed it up, that's the effect that you get. But you should definitely always practice whatever you're working on slowly and correctly and never make mistakes. That'll save you a ton of practice time. You should also be aware that alternate positions are super important anyway, but in this etude, I don't know how you could live without them. Look at measure 4. There's an F on beat 1. Let's put that in 6th. It'd be silly to come back to 1st when you're already in 5th for both the notes that surround it. The D at the end of the measure, put that in 4th. And then come into 1st for the next D. And that makes a really nice gliding motion. You want your slide to go as long as you can before you change directions. That's one way to think about alternate positions. You want to be true to articulations like in measure 7. In jazz, we cut off notes with our tongue a lot. Make them as short as we can, and that's a really good example right there. Measure 8 is a good place to try a natural slur on that triplet. You don't even have to articulate it if you can blow the air through it, just like a lip slur, a really fast lip slur. But sometimes there's another place, measure 19, where you need to tongue the triplets. And when you do that, because we're doing a slurred kind of feel, you want to use like a do-do-goo to get the notes to be smooth. In classical music, you might use tutuku, right, to articulate the triplet. Unless it's legato, then you want to use do-do-goo. So that's about it. There's a double tongue I'll mention in measure 14, and for that, again, you use do-goo. So do-do-goo-do, and that'll make that come out cleanly. The last note is an F. Rarely in jazz do you end on a tonic note or the note of the key. This is written in F major, and so it's unusual to end the piece on F. It may sound nice to you, but in jazz we tend to end it on a different part of the chord, and so I ended it on the 5th of the chord, which is a C. Other good notes that would sound good would be a G, the 9th of the chord, or an A above that. So you don't want to risk missing the C in an audition when you only have one shot if you're not very consistent with that note. But if you want to, it'd be a little extra spice if you're going for All-State. All right. Again, I'm Deb Scott at Stephen F. Austin State University, and we have a fantastic studio this year. We're face-to-face, kind of. We're outdoors in tents. You may be able to see the tent behind me. The band was just rehearsing in there. We do trombone choir in there, and I do a lot of lessons in there. And so you are welcome to come visit the campus this year and just wear a mask, and you can sit in with some ensembles and stuff. We're doing all the social protocols, the distancing and the hand washing and all that. We're being very safe, and so far it's working. So I hope to see you this year, and come visit us. Thanks.